My name is Zenovia, or I go by Zenia Kunasz.
And I'm Ihor Kunasz. Well, what I did for the industry is not what I do now. Now I'm retired after having spent almost 50 years in the lithium industry. This is a bit of a serendipity because lithium came out of a hard mineral, North Carolina. There's a mine there. And somebody in Nevada decided to test the salt water in one of those basins, and he found lithium. So he calls the company and he said, I have lithium. Now this is a hard rock company, and they said, what do we do with salt water? We don't know anything. I had just finished a thesis on the salt under Detroit. And the people in Detroit don't realize that they have tens of miles of tunnels below the city. So I had done a thesis on salt. The company said, oh, wonderful, gave me a 3-year fellowship. I analyzed that valley in Nevada. It's the first valley north of Death Valley. And the lithium was there, volcanic origin. And the good Lord kind of over millions of years kind of cooked it. So I got a job, I did a thesis, and when I finished it, I became chief geologist for the company, looking all over the world for lithium. That was my life.
Plus, when we lived in Tonopah, Nevada, which at that time was not a very good place to live, because Ihor was doing the research there in Silver Peak. It was quite an experience, and then of course the rest is history. We then, when he got his PhD, we didn't move to, gosh, there's been so many places that we've lived that I can't even remember.
I'll give them the map.
I'll give them the map, right?
No, but the places we lived in Chile for 4 years, Bolivia 1 year, 1 year in Kazakhstan, but that was already gold.
4 years.
And 4 years in Uzbekistan. I was president of Newmont, Uzbekistan. It was a joint venture with the government on recovering gold. So we lived in Uzbekistan, and after that, I decided to retire.
But after a few years, after he got his PhD, we lived in Philadelphia area, Audubon, PA, and that's where he worked for.
Foot Mineral Company, Foot with an E at the end.
Yes.
That was the company. And then we lived in Denver also.
Yeah.
And in the meanwhile, after lithium, I became a Russian specialist, and we opened up a gold mine in the Russian Far East. So I spent some years there, working there, not living there. Otherwise, it was quite a fascinating career. And as I said, I decided to write a book on lithium for my children.
Called?
And
the name of the book is?
Oh, it's the book is The Legacy of Lithium. It's available, but I did it for them.
But amazingly, Ihor has been to many, many places of the world, not just what he mentioned, but he was in Africa. Today, he probably wouldn't even go to some of the towns that he had visited at that time. No. And I, of course, stayed at home with the children. Somebody had to raise the children. We have a son and a daughter. Our son is a plastic surgeon and a full-bird colonel, retired from the military, from the army. And our daughter is a vet tech. Don't live near us. One is in San Antonio, one is in New Jersey, but we're proud of them, and we have 3 grandchildren. So it was tough raising the children practically by myself, but I supported him because he brought the bread home, I guess.
Well, when we were married 30 years, she says, oh yeah, we were married 30 years, but I had you only for 15.
Yeah.
And now I don't go anywhere without her. We are blessed, each speaking 5 languages, to be able to fit in a given culture. You're accepted or you're not accepted depending upon how you behave. And we tend to be big mavericks, and we think everybody works the way it is here. And in Russia, on the gold deposit, people don't realize here, you have 3 years job here, 3 years jobs there, hey John, how are you? There they go to a mine for life. And they don't understand when we start switching on the project. We have one geologist, he works everything, and then, oh John, we need you in Mexico. John is gone to Mexico. Mike arrives, does the same thing. And the chief geologist in Russia, after a while, he says, well, Igor, don't you trust us? You keep on sending these new guys every time. It's the same information. Why? It's a different mentality. And the one thing I did a stretch at the University of Arizona as professor of practice. And one of my lessons was working overseas. I said, you guys are going to be working overseas. First thing, learn the language if you can. Big advantage. If not, learn their culture. Very important. Everybody here is happy when a foreigner comes and he asks you questions, right? Third, know your own history, because it's embarrassing if they ask you a question and you don't know the answer.
You've been part of SME all this time, for 15 years.
Oh my, I'm a dinosaur. I'm a Legion of Honor. I started in 1970, so I'm 54 years now in it. And I worked through all of the divisions, presenting papers, being program chairman, the division chairman, then moving up, and I became president in 1998. And by the way, I was one of the two overseas presidents of SME. There was one, I forget his name, he was in Australia, and I was in Uzbekistan during my stay. So Gary Howell was the Dave Carnegie of today, and he's the one who really helped me walking through all of that. But it was wonderful to have all of these friends, and unfortunately there are less and less of them.
Seeing the young people, the young students and the young professionals who are in this field, because sometimes mining gets a very bad name, and people say, oh, you're destroying the earth, you're doing this. This is progress. It's so changed from what it used to be, and people don't realize that. And this is the place where it teaches them what it really is like.
An important thing about this show, for example, I tell everybody I stop by who I am and so on.
Yeah.
And I said in 1998, this was maybe a quarter of this size. And look at what happened today. Not only the mining people, the metallurgy, anything related, all the support groups. I mean, you have the geophysics, you have environment and so on. And I thank them for coming up and doing this. And with students, I think SME has done a great job in the past few years, because some of the students, well, it was a sort of a side thing, but now they're becoming involved. We need the minerals. The world needs new minerals, additional minerals. They are the future. Now we enjoy our retirement in Tucson, Arizona. We picked Tucson because I worked in the deserts of the world with lithium all my life, practically. And Tucson is a wonderful semi-arid desert. It's wonderful. We enjoy it very much.
Yeah.
Students have to remember that the old black eye that industry got, you were a dirty shovel and so on. Today mining is totally different. You have satellites, you have ground testing, you have the drones, all of the technical material that is available now to analyze a mine situation. And I look also, there are many other things. The drilling technology has changed. It's not just mining, but I think there is a great opportunity for them. When I introduced the keynote session in 5 languages, the text that I present is that this is one of the best organization in the world of mining, metallurgy, and exploration. And you, by joining, you have this pool of people, 17,000. You have the technical books, you have everything available for you, where before we didn't have any of that. So join the SME, because that is your key to the future.
Join SME.